Welcome students. Today we are going to study a very important topic in computer architecture, that is parallel processing. Now, first of all we will see what is actually parallel processing is. Now, parallel computing, or if we say parallel processing, is a type of computation in which many calculations or the execution of the processes are carried out simultaneously. Large problems can often be divided into the smaller ones, which can then be solved at the same time. So, parallel computing means to compute some particular calculation, like suppose any addition or subtraction calculation, or multiplication or division calculation, or if we say execution of the processes are also carried out simultaneously, then this type of we can say computation or calculation is called as parallel computing. If several computations are carried on simultaneously or at the same time, many calculations if they are carried out at the same time simultaneously, or if the several processes are executed at the same time simultaneously, then this type of computation is called as parallel computation or parallel computing. Large problems can often be divided into smaller ones, which can then be solved at the same time. So, we can say that here the bigger problems or the large complex problems are generally broken into small parts, and then actually this is how the and actually these can be solved at the same time also. So, we can say that here the large problems are often divided into the smaller ones. And the basic definition of the parallel computing, we can say it is a type of computation in which many calculations or several calculations or n numbers of calculations or the execution of the processes are carried out simultaneously at the same time. Now, we can say that any particular computer system, its computational speed is very important. If we talk about any particular system, then what do we expect from that system is it should perform computationally very well, so as to give quite faster and better results, better execution results. So, here computer systems computational speed is a very important characteristic or property that actually defines the quality of any particular computer system. So, we can say that for the purpose of increasing the computational speed of the computer system, the term parallel processing employed to give simultaneous data processing operations is used to represent a large class. So, we can say that parallel processing actually came into picture basically for the purpose of increasing the computational speed of the computer system. For that purpose, the parallel processing is employed. Basically, parallel processing is employed to give simultaneous data processing operations, and that is basically used to represent a large class. In addition, a parallel processing system is capable of concurrent data processing to achieve faster execution times. So, we can say that parallel processing system, if a system is equipped with the parallel processing capabilities, then we can say that it is capable of concurrent data processing. That means the data processing can be done parallelly at the same time. Concurrent data operations may be done, or they may be possible, basically to achieve faster execution time. So, if the processing tasks are done simultaneously or at the same time or concurrently, then generally the results which are achieved after execution are quite faster. So, the basic concept behind parallel processing is for the purpose of increasing the computational speed of the computer system. This is the basic purpose of parallel processing, and it is actually employed for this, that is to enhance the computational speed of the computer system, and to give simultaneous data processing operations, and parallel processing is basically carries simultaneous data processing operations. In addition, it is a system capable of concurrent data processing to achieve faster execution times. As an example, the next instruction can be read from the memory while an instruction is being executed in the arithmetic logic unit. The system can have 2 or more arithmetic logic units and be able to execute 2 or more instructions at the same time. This is a very we can say obvious concept, that if we have to execute more and more instructions, then in that case suppose one instruction suppose is being executed in the arithmetic logic unit, at the same time the next instruction can be read from the memory. So we can say that this parallel operation basically results in better computational result. So this is a very basic example, that if one instruction is being executed in the arithmetic and logic unit, the next instruction can be obviously if it is read from the memory at the same time, then this parallel this is the basic operation of parallel processing. So the system can have 2 or more arithmetic logic units here. See, a system, if it has to carry on parallel processing tasks, then it is basically very must that it should contain 2 or more arithmetic and logic units and be able to execute 2 or more instructions at the same time. So the system should be basically capable of carrying out 2 or more instructions at the same time. See, if rather than executing only one instruction at a particular single clock cycle, if in a single clock cycle 2 or more operations and their execution is being possible, then obvious thing is that the system is going to yield better results and better computational results will be obtained. So this will be possible because the time has reduced, and means the time is actually in a lesser time more operations occur. The time is actually only if it is only one clock cycle, and during that particular one clock cycle we are performing addition also, we are performing logical operations also, we are actually calculating the shift micro operations also. So many operations, if they are done at a single clock cycle, then this particular concept is the parallel processing concept. And for that purpose, what is necessary? See, if a particular system is basically intended for operating like a parallel computing machine, then it is very must that machine should be equipped with the such kind of 2 or more units, that is arithmetic and logic units should be several units present in that machine. Means the machine should be should include several arithmetic and logic units, so that the parallel processing operations may be carried on. So this is a very important property of the parallel processing, that how the instructions execute, how the parallel processing is actually carried on in the parallel processing. If the one instruction, suppose it is executing in the arithmetic and logic unit, at the same time the next instruction is can be read from the memory. So the time will also be saved and the operations will also continue to operate. So the system can have in this case 2 or more arithmetic and logic units for that is for simultaneous executions, and it may be able to execute 2 or more instructions at the same time. Now, in addition, 2 or more processing is also used to speed up the computer processing capacity and increases with the parallel processing, and with it the cost of the system increases. See, if we are actually using 2 or more processing, so 2 or more processing is done basically to enhance or speed up the processing capacity of the computer, and it also basically this processing capacity also increases with the parallel processing. If we implement the parallel processing concept, then this particular processing capacity also increases, and with it the cost of the system also increases. Actually the system cost also increases if we employ extra additional arithmetic and logic units and extra units for calculations and parallel processing. If we employ in the system, then obviously the system cost is going to be increased. So here although we are basically in terms of computational results, actually the machine is giving no doubt very fast results, but if we talk about the complexity, then the complexity is quite enhanced, or we can say it is increased, because we have to employ additional arithmetic and logic units, so that the parallel processing may be done, or the parallel processing operations may be carried on. So we can say that this is a very important concept, that if we increase the several units for the sake of parallel processing, then obviously the system will become quite expensive, the cost of the system will increase. So the system cost will increase, because if we are employing one or more arithmetic and logic units in the system, then obviously the system cost is going to be increased. So the obvious advantage is the computational speed is enhanced, but at the same time the system cost is also increased. But the technological development has reduced hardware costs to the point where the parallel processing methods are economically possible. But now there are several technological developments have been done so that they have reduced this hardware cost to the point where actually the parallel processing methods do not incur too much cost, and they are economically quite possible, that actually the parallel processing task may be carried on in a very economical way. So here the hardware cost, or the hardware due to the hardware complexity, the hardware cost of the system does not increase. This is possible because in the several past few years technological development has basically reduced the hardware costs, and at the same time the parallel processing can be done with the better results. For what actually the parallel processing is carried on, the main motive, that is to carry on the several tasks at the same time, and this was the basic we can say the concept, that actually the cost was increasing in the past at the sake of parallel processing speed, but now due to the technological developments, they have reduced the hardware cost, and at the same time economically the parallel processing can be made possible. Now, parallel processing derives from multiple levels of complexity. There are multiple levels of complexity through which parallel processing actually derives from multiple levels of complexity. It is distinguished between parallel and serial operations by the type of the registers used at the lowest level. Actually here parallel processing derives from multiple levels of complexity. There are levels of complexity from which actually the parallel processing is derived. It is distinguished between the two types of operations called as parallel and serial operations. Now, this categorization of operations that is into two categories, that is parallel and serial operations, that is done by the type of the registers used at the lowest level. Whatever may be the type of the registers that are used at the lowest level, they actually distinguish these operations, that is some operations are parallel operations and some operations are serial operations. So basically shift registers work over here one bit at a time in a serial fashion, while parallel registers work simultaneously with all the bits of the word. So whatever may be the data byte or the word is, actually for that the parallel registers work simultaneously, that is for the parallel processing, and here shift registers work one bit at a time in a serial fashion. So so the serial for the serial processing, basically the serial operations, basically shift registers work one bit at a time, while parallel registers work simultaneously. So basically parallel processing, we can say that it derives from the multiple levels of complexity, and it is divided into two types of operations, that is called as parallel and serial operations. Now, at the higher levels of complexity, parallel processing derives from having a plurality of functional units that perform separate or similar operations simultaneously. By distributing the data among several functional units, parallel processing is installed. So here we can say that at the higher levels of complexity, parallel processing actually derives from having a plurality of functional units. Several numbers of functional units are actually employed so that the parallel processing is possible and it may be carried on. And these we can say functional units perform separate or similar types of operations simultaneously or at the same time or concurrently, and we can say due to this only the parallel processing operation is possible, that is by employing several different functional units. By distributing the data among several functional units, parallel processing is installed. So how the parallel processing is actually installed, or actually it is implemented? It is implemented by distributing, or we can say by distributing the data among these several functional units, several different functional units. If we divide the data, or if we distribute the data among these functional units which are employed in the system, then actually the parallel processing may be, we can say it is installed and it is actually implemented. Now, as an example, arithmetic, shift and logic operations can be divided into 3 units, and operations are transformed into a teach unit under the supervision of a control unit. So here basically the 3 types of operations, here they are divided into 3 basic units. That is, for example, operations may be several operations, like arithmetic operations may be there, logical operations may be there, as well as the shift operations can also be there. So they are basically divided into 3 units, and the operations are transformed into a teach unit under the supervision of a control unit. So basically all these operations which are actually carried on, their transformation is done under a unit, a teach unit. It is called as the control unit, which actually supervises all these operations which we are talking about, that is the arithmetic, shift and logic operations. Now, if we talk about this, we can say parallel processing, then one thing comes in our mind, that how actually the functional units are distributed, or we can say how these functional units are employed in a particular parallel processing system, and how actually the data is being distributed, and finally how the operations are actually transformed, as we have explained in our previous slide, that how the operations are actually transformed under the supervision of a control unit. So here we can say that one possible method of dividing the execution unit into 8 functional units operating in parallel is shown in the next figure. Actually it is shown in the next slide. So here there is a very possible method of dividing the execution unit into 8 functional units, depending on the operation specified by the instruction. Operands in the registers are we can say transformed or transferred to one of the units associated with the operands. So whatever may be the operation which is actually specified by the instruction itself, actually instruction specifies what operation is to be carried on. So we can say that depending on the operation specified by the instruction, operands in the registers, whatever may be the operands which are contained by the registers, those are transferred or carried on to one of the units associated with the we can say functional units associated with the operands. So here basically whatever may be the operation that is specified by the instruction, and the operands in the registers are transformed to one of the units. See, there are several 8 functional units we have included over here. So 8 functional units will be there, which will be actually responsible for carrying out different concurrent tasks. Now, in each functional unit, the operation performed is denoted in each block of the diagram. The arithmetic operations with the integer numbers are performed by the adder and integer multiplier. So we can say that every functional unit is basically responsible for performing an operation, and it is denoted in each block of the diagram. Here we will see the diagram for this. And the arithmetic operations with the integer numbers are performed by the adder and integer multiplier. Floating point operations can be divided into 3 circuits operating in parallel. Actually, the floating point operations can be divided into 3 circuits operating in parallel, that is logic operation, shift operation and increment operations are performed concurrently on different data. Here, if we talk about the floating point operations or the decimal operations, it can be divided into 3 circuits operating in parallel. And also we can say that the logic, shift and the increment operations are also performed concurrently on different data, that is at the same time. Now, here all the units are independent of each other, therefore one number is shifted while the another number is being incremented. So here here all the units are independent of each other. So this is the example. here the we can say that the floating point operations, these are the floating point operations, can be divided into 3 circuits operating in parallel, that is floating point add subtract, floating point multiply and floating point divide. So here we can say that basically the floating point operations can be divided into 3 circuits operating in parallel. Again here logic shift and increment operations are performed concurrently on different data. Here logic shift and incrementer, these are basically we can say that operations are performed concurrently on different data. All the units are independent of each other, therefore one number is shifted while another number is being incremented. Here no unit is dependent on each other, rather every unit is independent of each other. All units are independent, so that one number is shifted while another number is being incremented. And all these functional units, that is 8 functional units are there. So here is the processor with the multiple functional units, that is adder and subtractor, integer, multiply, logic unit, shift unit, incrementer, floating point add subtract, floating point multiply, floating point divide. These are actually the we can say processor registers which are ultimately connected to the memory. So whatever may be the results are actually obtained, those results are given back to the processor registers and finally to the we can say to the memory. So generally a multifunctional organization is associated with a complex control unit. Here we can say that generally a multifunctional organization is associated with a complex control unit to coordinate all the activities between the several components. So there are several components basically we can say present, like addition subtraction operation, for that adder subtractor unit is there, now integer multiply unit is there, logic unit is there, shift unit is there. So we can say to coordinate all the activities between the several components, we can say a multifunctional organization is actually associated with a complex control unit. And we can say that here the we can say that multifunctional organization is associated with a complex control unit to coordinate all the activities between the several components. And here we can see that adder, subtractor, integer, multiply, logic unit, shift unit, so many different functional units are there which are actually which make actually the parallel processing we can say possible. Here the adder and the integer multiplier performs the arithmetic operation with the integer numbers. Here we can say that the adder and the integer multiplier performs the arithmetic operation with the integer numbers. Second is the floating point operations are separated into 3 circuits operating in parallel. Here I have explained that actually these are 3 floating point operations actually are carried on. For that 3 different circuits we can say are present, that is floating point add subtract, floating point multiply and floating point divide. And the logic shift and increment operations can be performed concurrently on different data. Here also there is a logic unit, then shift unit, then incrementer unit. So many units are present here. So these are basically can be performed concurrently on different data. All units are independent of each other, so one number can be shifted while another number is being incremented. So this was the we can say the basic concept behind we can say the parallel processing. Actually the parallel processing, from this diagram we can infer one thing, that since several multiple functional units are working independently, so due to this the several operations are carried on at the same time and different operations are carried on at the same time, due to which the computational efficiency of the system is enhanced or it increases. Several functional units basically are performing independent of each other, like adder subtractor is doing its function, integer multiply is performing its function, logic shift and incrementer are also performing their functions at the same time. The very complex type of operations which are considered are called as the floating point operations. The calculations of the floating point numbers are quite complex, but still floating point add subtract, floating point multiply and floating point divide, due to the presence of these independent functional units, this is also possible. Floating point operation is also possible, that is their simultaneous execution is also we can say possible. So these are the we can say the main advantage of the parallel processing is that here we can say that the main advantage of the parallel processing is that it provides better utilization we can say of the system resources by increasing the resource multiplicity. with overall system throughput. So the overall system throughput is actually enhanced due to this, because here see several functional units are actually working. Not only one functional unit is working, but 8 different functional units we have employed over here. Separate functional units we have employed over here, so that the parallel processing may be carried on in a very efficient manner. And here we can say this is the processor with a multiple functional units. So the processor equipped with multiple functional units is actually capable of carrying out different parallel processing tasks, and at the same time several calculations or operations may be carried on due to this. And this is possible because there are several multiple functional units are present in that particular we can say processor. So here this is the major advantage of the parallel processing, that it provides better utilization of the system resources by increasing resource multiplicity with overall system throughput. These are the references which I have taken for preparing this presentation. Thank you.